Hello! Hi everybody, it's Carey and Demir here.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? Okay, so this is what we wanted to introduce you to and show you. Let me get out of the way. Last time we did a Facebook Live, we wanted to do it by the pool, but it was raining. So
but today is perfect.
We finally get to bring you, we are, if you're not sure, we are in amazing Bali, which is in Indonesia. It's an island in Indonesia that is basically like paradise. Incredible, incredible setting. And so our poolside productivity series here is about bringing you awesome topics and useful things that you can use in your productivity right away so that you can get a little bit better. And the poolside part is just to make it a little bit cooler.
So we have a really important topic to share with you guys today. It is about, do you need to take a media fast? And this is a really hot topic we think that needs to be addressed because we have clients coming to us all the time, really torn, feeling like a lot of their time is being sucked up by media every day, 2 or 3 hours just looking at the news, looking at social media, especially post-election in the US, which is really making people feel a bit torn. And also, but then it takes me away from time that I need to be doing real work and being really productive in my business. So which do I choose?
Yeah.
Do I go full on and you know, get educated and watch all this politics stuff, or do I stay focused on my business?
Okay, come on, let's get real. The media in the United States and even elsewhere is going crazy right now because there's a lot of red meat out there.
Yeah.
Right? And so let's just talk about what we're really talking about. When we say, how do you take a media fast? The media right now is incredible and it's hard to look away from because there's a lot of red meat out there. The media is going crazy and there's a lot to get upset and anxious about, right? Yeah. So that's what we're really talking about. However, having said that, this is just an exaggeration of something that is really a trend. Do you want to explain that, right? Because Right now it's particularly bad.
Yep.
But I've noticed that clients of ours will come to us a lot, even before this whole Trump and international stuff.
Yeah.
People come to us a lot saying that their consumption of media is not productive.
Yep.
It's distracting them.
Well, ask yourself this. Do you check your phone the first thing when you wake up? Do you check your Facebook? And then do you check it the last thing before you go to bed? For a lot of people, that becomes, you know, an hour of just, you know, surfing YouTube or, you know, checking out news channels before they go to bed, which is really bad for your sleep patterns as well as for the way your brain works.
Don't I know it?
And also then the first thing when you wake up, you know, you wake up and, you know, it's your one point in the day as an opportunity to start your day out right.
Yep.
But instead, you're overloading yourself with information that you don't control.
One, you're setting, you know, the mornings are so important. We're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Let's not skip ahead.
Yeah.
Let's just be clear. My name is Demir Jokai. If you're logging in a little bit late, this is Carey, my wife. We are productivity professionals that run a company called Lifehack Bootcamp, where we train people in hardcore productivity techniques to improve their life so they can design a life that really works for them and get to 100% of what they can do. So that's who we are. Hello, we're coming to you live from Bali.
Thank you. Yes, and I also forgot to mention that make sure you watch till the end of this podcast, because at the very end we're going to be doing a really special giveaway. So stay on to the end to see the details on that.
Well, let's tell them what we're giving away, should we? Let's tease it.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh, okay, we can't tease it. Okay, we're giving.
It's something really
needless
good,
to say, we're giving away something really, really good at the end of this broadcast. So definitely hang in to the end so that you can get a little bit of a peek at what we're going to be offering up at the end. Okay, guys? Okay, again, if you're logging in just right now, the topic here is, do you need to take a break from media? We call that a media fast. And a media fast is almost like when you're getting too heavy, and you need to take a little fast to lose a little weight. Are we a little too overexposed to media right now? Are we is our brain in a million different places? Do we have too much anxiety and fear around everything that's coming in us from Facebook and the media? Do we need to just take a break right now, right? So that's today's topic.
Yeah, I think, so for those of you watching right now, if you can relate to something like this, we have clients coming to us saying, Demir and Carey, I feel so pulled in two different directions. On the one hand, I can only accomplish so much in a given day, and I have big priorities to work on in my life. I'm up to big things. A lot of our clients are doing really important work that if they weren't doing that, no one else would be doing it, and we would really suffer as a society. But on the other hand, they feel really obligated to take part in the national media discussion that's going on now, and they're wondering, should I be much more involved in that? Should I really be changing you know, how I interact with everybody on a day-to-day in order to be more involved in that area of my life.
I mean, it's simple. A lot of people are distracted. Guys, if you're distracted out there by this crazy media environment that we're in, and I don't care what your political orientation, maybe you're distracted because you're so excited, and maybe you're distracted because you're freaking out. But who's distracted out there? Give me a little like or a heart button there if you're really, really distracted. So at the end of the day, we've got clients flooding into us all the time, but especially it's been in a fever pitch right now in the last like 15 days where people have been writing into us saying, how do I handle this environment? On one hand, I want to be some kind of contribution, right? And I care about this. And on the other hand, I got some bills to pay.
Christina says all the time.
Yeah, all
Thanks,
the time.
Christina.
Yeah, I mean, I got bills to pay. You know, I got things that I got to do. You know, is Donald Trump going to pay your bills? Literally? Yeah, maybe you think he'd be good for you economically, but is he going to do your work and pay your bill? No, so at some point, you need to jump in and get your work done first before you consume media. So, Carey, why don't we jump in? So, and talk, let's recap really quick for people who are talking late.
Yep.
Who are we? What's the topic? And then we'll jump into the tools that we're going to talk to manage a media fast and pull it off to and you know,
how to know whether it's right for you.
Yeah, and also what's in it for them to do a media fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why
don't we resituate?
Okay, that was a lot, but I think I can do it. Okay, so we're Carey and Demir. We are productivity experts. Right now we're sitting by our pool in Bali. So it's morning for us, it's probably evening for you right now, but thanks so much for joining us. We are talking about a really hot topic right now, which is the media, and the media taking up a lot of time in our lives. And we have a lot of clients with an issue of feeling torn.
Yep.
Do I need to take a more active role in the political environment by reading more media and taking part in some way, some unknown way?
Yep.
Or do I need to find a way to get back to focus and get more work done that you know really pushes me and my family and my community forward directly?
Absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to show you, if you hang around here, we're going to do two things. We're going to show you some specific technologies and tools that can help you go on a media fast. What is a media fast? A media fast is when you just take a break. You just take a little break, not forever, not stopping your social media forever and signing off of social media, but it's where you take a little break to reset and get refocused on the things that actually pay your bills and get your life move forward and get a little bit more sanity in your life and take your fear and anxiety levels down.
Whether you're going to be diving right in and taking full part in the media environment right now,
yes,
and becoming an activist maybe, or becoming an elected leader, or it's about getting back to focus and getting back to your priorities. But the problem is being in the middle. That's where we see a lot of our clients struggling, is when they're being pulled in two directions and they're not able to choose which one they want to go in.
Guys, let's be honest. We're not saving the world by reading Google News or Facebook News, okay? Can I get an amen to that? Like, we are not saving the world by, like, clicking on Fox News or New York Times and reading these articles, right? So it's doing us a lot of damage because it's creating fear and anxiety in our life, and it's creating a need in our life, but we're not doing much benefit. So what Carey's saying here is simple, right? Let's either choose to make a difference in the world and take action in some significant way, or let's choose to get back to the work that we were already doing and make our unique contribution. But at the end of the day, it's the middle that's the worst.
Yep.
Listen, if you are in favor of Trump, God bless you. You won the election, and you want to, run for your school board or run for your local, office. Fantastic. Take action. Do that, right? And if you want to just unplug and say, hey, listen, I voted, that was my contribution, I'm going to let them do that job now, and I'm going to go back to my business and increase my revenues and make more money, then that's good, right? Both of those people are winning. Who's not winning?
People in the middle.
The people in the middle are the ones who are losing, and that's me and you. Let's be honest, guys. We're not out there, for those people who are out there marching and running for office, they're winning because they've let the media inspire them to go be a contribution and make a difference,
or
right?
Those of them who are choosing to be leaders in an activist group. We have friends who do that, and we couldn't be more proud of them because they're actually going full into it without exception.
I don't care what your politics is, or if you're actually taking action, you're winning. And if you're not taking action, I know this sounds crazy, you're also winning. if you've been able to tune this whole thing out and say, forget the circus, I'm going to increase my revenues in my business, you're also winning. The people who are losing, let's be really honest, are all of us in the middle, where we're waking up in the morning and ruining our mornings by reading Facebook. And then we're getting distracted and crazy and upset all day, and we take that through the day, and we can't really focus because we're not getting things done, but we're also not moving the ball forward in a civic way, right? So we're not making a difference in our political or world outlook, and we're also not making a difference at work, so we're just unhappy. It's just making us unhappy.
The good news is we're going to share some tools with you today that are going to help you bridge that gap.
Yes.
So it's not just a choice between having what you want on the politics side or having what you want in your life. We're going to show you some ways where you can bring that together, but also get back to focus.
Yeah.
So do we want to start talking about those tools?
Yeah, so let's talk about, so this all is nested under this concept of a media fast, right? So a lot of times people, let's talk about what is a fast. A fast is when you stop eating a certain food for a while, right? So they call a popular one is a sugar fast, right? Because people are eating too much sweets. Who here's gone on a sugar fast?
So
I've tried
hard.
it.
So difficult.
It's where you, instead of trying to like taper down your sugar intake, you just go cold turkey. Cold turkey. You just stop eating sugar whatsoever. Now, what's the benefit to that? The benefit is that sometimes it's impossible to take something that you're really addicted to and taper it down. Like sometimes you just need to go cold turkey. And I'm like that with Facebook. When I'm addicted to my Facebook feed, I just need to take a week where I just don't look at Facebook whatsoever because I can't taper it down. I need to go from 1,000% to 0%.
And most people are like that. We couldn't just tell them, hey, use Facebook 10% less. You'll be set. I mean, that'd be great, but it doesn't really work like that in our brains.
Because once you have a little taste, come on guys, like, who's out there? You know, admit it. Once you have a taste of Facebook, you know, it's like one article, then 2 articles, and then 3 articles, and then it just steamrolls. Am I right? I mean, so what we're suggesting here is we're going to give you some tools to support one technique, which is how do you relax a little bit on Facebook? Right? How do you block that out? Because it's easy to say take a break from Facebook. It's really hard to take a break from Facebook, right? And take a break from the media.
Yeah.
Because the media is really good at doing one thing. And what is that thing?
Getting them to pay attention to you.
They're amazing at getting you to pay attention. So you could just be walking through the airport completely blocked off, and you see a little headline scrolling across the top, and they're so talented at getting you to freak out just in that headline, right? You know, the world's going to end, right? And has it ever ended? Not yet. You know, hasn't ended yet. So let's jump into some of these specific things. And while you're looking at that, let me just reintroduce, for those of you who might be logging in a little bit late, my name is Demir. This is my wife, Carey. We are with Lifehack Bootcamp. We're hardcore productivity experts. Our mission in life is to get you to your highest level of performance so that you can create the life that you want. So that you can live the life that you want and design the life you want. We're coming to you live from our temporary home here in Bali. Poolside productivity, and we are here today to show you how to take a media fast and get your life back. Okay, so give me a little thumbs up if you want to get your life back.
So the first tool I wanted to talk about is for those of you who are, I know you're asking the question, yeah, but if I don't stand up for what I believe in, and if I don't make sure that the government is representing me fairly, then who will? And that's a totally valid question. So like we already talked about, we don't want to be in the middle, but how do we also feel like we're being represented fairly in our government?
Yes.
And what we encourage you to do is to seek out a proxy. So a proxy could be a news source or a person or an elected official or someone who you trust. So this is someone that you pick personally that represents you best. So for us, it could be, you know, a good friend who happens to be really involved in politics, keeps extremely well informed, much better informed than we could ever be, even if we devoted more time to it per day, and they're who we trust to come back to us and say, here's what you need to be doing. If you only have a half an hour a week to pay attention to politics and get involved, here's how you can actually make an impact. So that's the number one thing you want to be doing. If you know that you're super busy with work, you're not going to be able to be the best informed you can be, then find a proxy who can be informed in your place. Now, this could also come in the form of an email summary, right? Yeah,
so wait, let me say it. My proxy. What does that mean? Get somebody else to do the work for you. That's it, right? So everything she just said in my like stupid head just ends up being translated. have somebody else worry about the day-to-day so that you can just jump in once in a while and they will just get you informed. So what does a proxy look like? Carey just mentioned the first one, which is have a friend. Okay, guys, come on, comment in the sidebar. Comment in the little box there. Who here has a friend who's just like every second of the day obsessively keeping up with the news, right? Have that friend give you updates, right? So once a week, call them up and say, hey, what happened this week? And spend 30 minutes getting updated with them, and you'll save all that time. What are other proxies that we can have? Well, you know, each and every media outlet, Fox News, New York Times, whatever, they send out weekly email summaries. So number one was get your friends to update you, those people who are obsessive. Number two is weekly email summaries from whatever news source that you trust, right? Fox News, whatever. I personally recommend that you get one from the right and one from the left. I find it very helpful. So I subscribe to something called The Intercept. It's called The Intercept, and it's a weekly newsletter from the New York Times. And I also subscribe, and they don't have a name for it, but it's a weekly update from Fox News. And what's great about that is just in one very clear sort of peek, I can see what right of center looks, and I can see what left of center looks like. Right? And so that comes into my inbox once a week, usually on the weekend, so it doesn't freak me out in the work week. Yep. So that's another way to get a proxy.
It also helps you relax, knowing that that's coming. You're going to deal with that when the time comes, and it's not like you have to be on edge all the time, wondering if there's some catastrophe going on. Your proxy will let you know if you need to jump into action for some reason. So that enables us to give that space and peace of mind, so that we can get back to what we are supposed to be doing.
Guys, this is a total life hack. Everybody's out there following the news second by second. You don't have to. Get back to work. Get your business in order. Get your life in order. Like, only, Trump and the Democrats, the Republicans, they're not going to take care of, cleaning your toilets and paying your bills and getting the groceries stocked up, making sure that you're working out. At the end of the day, you're still in charge of you. So get a proxy on a weekly basis to update you on all the craziness so that you can step away and focus on the only thing that you can do, which is take care of you and make sure that you're pushing your mission forward. Okay, so that's number one.
Now, the second thing is something that applies to everybody.
Well, let me ask really quick. Hey guys, did you like that? Do you have any questions about that? Just give me a little thumbs up or a heart if you like that first one.
Any questions, just put them below. We'll be responding to all of them. So if you have any comments, just write them below.
Yeah, so first one was get a proxy, which is another news source or a friend to do that work for you so that you can step away.
So the second tool really applies to anybody who, regardless of if you're obsessed with the news right now or if you just have trouble with social media. A lot of people have a social media addiction. I know that it's really easy to fall into that trap where you're constantly checking Facebook and Instagram and Twitter just almost obsessively. And we have a lot of people who are getting distracted from their work and getting sidetracked because social media is designed to be a distraction. They're very, very good at doing that. So, what we recommend for those people is a tool called Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator. And this is a Chrome plugin. So if you use the Chrome browser a lot, this is perfect for you. You can toggle it on and off, and what it will do is replace just your newsfeed in your Facebook with a productivity quote. So
it's as good as you think it is.
It's great. They have really great quotes that they replace your newsfeed with. So the second that you have the automatic behavior, oh, let me just see what's going on Facebook. You go onto your newsfeed and it'll be replaced by a quote. And if you really need to see your newsfeed for whatever reason, you can turn it off. But you can still use the functionalities of Facebook, like the messaging service and a lot of the things that we need to use for our business, but we don't get sidetracked onto tangential, articles and things that we didn't even go there to see in the first place.
Guys, I mean, Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator was a big turning point in my life because I need to be on Facebook. And I love Facebook. I mean, we're on Facebook right now. Yeah. I love Facebook. I love staying up with my friends. But there's this, can we be honest with each other? There's this aspect to the newsfeed. Whoever designed it in Facebook is a genius.
They're so smart.
They're so smart. Like, you can't ignore it. Like, I'm not, can I get a little heart?
Like, you keep scrolling.
Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? But when I log into Facebook, a lot of times I'll think that I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
And as soon as that Facebook feed hits me, I'm like entranced. It's almost like I go into a hypnotic state. And 1 hour later, I wake up and I go, oh my God, I just wasted an hour.
Well, it's funny, one of my friends
Wait, hold on. Let me just really quickly here. Philippe Boivin said, I never thought about a proxy, but it's totally going to be on my February goal. And then Christine Brennan says, it's artificial intelligence, brilliant and scary.
Yeah,
You're totally right.
And Christina, sorry. One of my friends once told me, he's like, yeah, you think about all the really smart people who are graduating from college right now. They used to be going into cancer research, and now they're getting hired by Facebook. So they've got all these incredibly smart people doing that artificial intelligence.
The most brilliant people in the world designed the Facebook feed to be the most addictive thing. So it's Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator isn't saying we don't love Facebook. Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator is saying we like to use Facebook in a way that we can control. And if you want to say amen to that, you can say amen in the comment box. Like, at the end of the day, Facebook is great, and I love it, and I use it all the time, and we run our business off of it. But at the end of the day, I need to have control of that, because when it's out of control, it freaks me out, right?
Yeah.
So when you turn on that Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator, which again is a Google Chrome plugin, so if you're searching it online on Google, you can Google Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator Chrome plugin and download it for Chrome. You've got to use Chrome. And it will let you log into Facebook. And you can take your messages and you can log into your groups, but just that main news feed will be eliminated, and in its place will be a cute little productivity quote that reminds you that you need to get to work.
It also makes you smarter.
It makes you a little bit smarter.
Kim just installed it. Awesome, Kim. Great job.
Oh, awesome, Kim. That's awesome, Kim. Again, guys, suggestion number one for how to take a media fast, which is to take a little break. Number one was to seek out a proxy, which is another person or organization that on a weekly or monthly basis will update you so that you can step away from the day-to-day freakouts, right? Number two, it was get Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator so that you can log into Facebook without getting taken down a million different rabbit holes. And number three, Carey, drum roll.
Number three is also a great hack for anybody, regardless of if you're interested in media fast or not, really. And that's storing your phone outside your bedroom. Now, this might be like, oh my God, for a lot of people. I mean, who out there has had their phone like within arm's reach for the last 5 years? I can raise my hand on that. But recently, Demir and I have begun experimenting with literally keeping the phone outside of the room. Because even if we tell ourselves, oh, we're not going to check it in the morning, and we're not going to just check it right before we go to bed, we do.
We do, yeah. I'm sorry, we're productivity experts, and it's no different for us than from you, right? Like the temptation, because at the end of the night, and this is something we tell a lot of our clients, you're tired. And what happens when you're tired? When you're tired, you have less willpower and resistance. And so you're more susceptible to eating bad foods or doing stuff like staying up late and watching YouTube or reading Facebook. And so a ritual that we developed was right outside of our room, we have a little place where we put our phones and charge them for the night. Outside of the room.
Now, Christina, thank you, Christina. You're setting us up for all the things we're going to say next. But she says, but it's my alarm clock.
Yes.
So what do I do if it's my alarm clock?
I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of people say this to us. We say, store it outside the room and say, but it's my alarm clock.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get real here, guys. An alarm clock costs about $2 on Amazon.com, right? I mean, alarm clocks are growing on trees. You could go down to the local Goodwill and get an alarm clock for 50 cents. Alarm clocks are not hard to get, right? So let's not use the excuse that, oh, my phone is my alarm clock.
Yeah.
And Christina, I just saw you put that in there.
Alarm clock. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, guys. I was resistant to this at first because I was like, well, the reason why I have my iPhone is it serves multiple purposes, and it's my flashlight, and it's my alarm, and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is, if it's your alarm clock, it's literally the first thing you're touching when you're waking up.
Yes.
And then, I mean, that's when your willpower is at its lowest. You're very susceptible. You're not even awake yet.
Yep.
And during a time when you should be, meditating or doing a daily gratitudes practice, instead the first thing you see is 20 Facebook notifications, and you want to go in and check your email and stuff like that.
There's a great book called As a Man Thinketh. As a Man Thinketh. And it talks about how every single thought that we allow to come into our brain is a seed that gets planted and takes root. And every single morning you're sowing new seeds for that day, right? And so if the first thing you put into your brain, the very first thing in the morning is, Trump and Democrats are freaking out and the world's exploding, you might think that that's not affecting you, but come on, let's get real. We all know it is.
Yep.
We all know it is. Even if on a day-to-day basis it's not affecting you, over time it's like taking a little bit of poison every day, and it starts to build in your system so that your anxiety and your stress and your focus is disappearing, right?
Well, even if you don't look at, if you take politics out of it completely, studies have shown that social media does make us more depressed in the long run.
Yeah.
So even over long-term studies, it is a negative force. Usually
If we overconsume it. Guys, at the end of the day, especially if you're an American, you know, somebody told me, a French guy once told me, it was the funniest thing he ever told me. He said, the problem with Americans is that they think if a little bit is good, a lot is better. If a little is good, a lot is better.
Oh,
hey,
God,
a little,
that's so true.
a little social, guys, can I get an amen for that? We think if a little's good, a lot must be better. A little bit of social media is a really good thing, right? I love social media. I love Facebook. It's my favorite platform. But that doesn't mean that waking up with it and going to bed with it and over-consuming it and letting it destroy our work, that doesn't mean that it's better, right? A little's good, but that doesn't mean a lot is better, okay?
So just to recap, we talked about seeking out a proxy to make sure that you're well informed on the issues that you care about. Talked about a Facebook newsfeed eradicator to keep you focused while you're at work and away from that temptation of constantly getting distracted.
Yep.
And we talked about getting your phone out of your bedroom so that it's not the first thing that you see when you wake up and the last thing before you go to bed.
Absolutely.
And then the fourth thing that we wanted to talk about is for the people out there who are saying like, but, like something still feels wrong. Like, I do really care about certain issues. Like, shouldn't I get involved in something out there?
Yeah.
And what we would say to that is...
I was just going to add one thing.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're not that person, if it is completely okay to have the perspective that you voted, because politics is a really hot topic right now. If your perspective is, I voted, that was my job, now there's a government in place and their job is to represent us and get the work done. It is not my job every single day to monitor the government. My job was to vote, now the government takes care of itself. If that's your perspective, be okay with that. That's okay. You don't have to be, we live in a representative democracy. You don't have to be on call 24/7. The reason we have representatives who represent us is so that we can go do work. We vote once every 2 years, sometimes for senators, sometimes for the president, and then we go away. If you believe that, I just want you to know, you're okay to believe that.
But a lot of people are feeling this anxiety like they don't know if they can believe that anymore. So if you're more in that camp, what we really recommend doing is getting hyper-educated on the one issue you care the most about.
Yes.
And getting educated, instead of just consuming all the media frenzy, is really going to be what makes an impact in the world. Because then you're going to be able to know what you can take an action on.
Yeah.
And
So
actually make a
let's give
difference.
some examples. Do you care about school reform? Everybody cares about everything. I care about school reform. I care about tax reform. I care about the economy. I care about international policy. But I can't be an expert on all of them, right?
At least not all at once.
Not all at once.
And getting a little bit educated on a lot of issues isn't very effective because then you're not in a position to have an intelligent conversation with someone about them. You're not in a position to run for an elected office, anything like that. But
Yeah.
You got to take it one thing at a time and get hyper educated on the one thing that's the most important to you.
Because let's be honest, I'm guilty of it. I'll be the first to admit, and you guys admit it too in the comment box if you're guilty. Who here has been guilty of being at a party and I'm just spouting off of my mouth and I think to myself somewhere back in my brain, I'm like, I don't really know what I'm talking about here.
And then someone says something that you disagree with and you think it's wrong, but you're not for sure. You don't for sure
I don't know how to respond to them. I don't have the facts. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's me. I'm speaking for myself. A lot of times when I'm talking, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? And so there are some topics, though, that I've chosen to go deeper in, and I can educate somebody, and I can inform, and I can deepen the conversation. So, guys, if you are determined to be part of this conversation, our recommendation is to pick the one thing that you feel the most deeply about and really get very highly educated about that. School reform, tax reform, international policy, whatever it is. Get out there and get yourself educated.
We call this being hyper-educated.
Hyper-educated.
So amongst everybody that you know, your 1,000 Facebook friends, you should be the most educated on this topic. So imagine if instead of surfing Facebook for 2 hours a day, you went deep on one subject that you really cared about. I mean,
Yep.
you could become an expert in a week. I mean, you
Absolutely.
could learn more than you've learned in the past year about that.
If you have a question, Uncle Google has the answer. Okay? And you know what? Let's get honest about something right now. If we're reading these different news sources and we're asking ourselves what's real,
Yeah.
guys, you can find it. If you're determined to find the truth on Google, you can find it.
But usually we don't go through that extra effort.
We don't go
because
through the effort.
We're just surfing Facebook. But if your intention is to get educated on it, you can by all means find out the truth.
If you want to get the pros and cons of school reform or charter schools or any kind of seemingly divisive issue, it's out there. There are people writing in nuanced ways, but we're not seeking it out. So go seek out those nuances and that deep knowledge and understanding so that when you do have a discussion with a friend, that you can actually enlighten, you can educate.
Yeah. Well, cool, guys. Those were the 4 tools. Let's recap those, and then I want to talk about the giveaway.
And the topic. So the topic was, do you need to take a break from media, take a media fast, and step away? If that's a yes, guys, can you just go ahead and comment right now? If you are a yes, absolutely, and you want to commit to yourself and to us that you want to take a media fast, just say, I'm taking a media fast this coming week. Yeah. And you can spend this weekend preparing, and next week you can take a media fast and just take a 7-day break from the media. And we gave you 4 tools and points to help you and support you in doing that.
So the first one was seek out a proxy who can represent you and let you know what the important issues are. That could be a person, that could be a weekly email summary from a news source that you trust, that sort of thing. Seek
out, let somebody else do the hard work so that you can just get back and focus, and it'll all be there when you come back to it.
The second thing was installing Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator. So this is actually a tool you can install on the Chrome extensions that will help you stay focused while you're actually at your desk doing work. And the third thing was keep your phone outside of your bedroom and replace it with an analog alarm clock. One of those cool things that you thought were obsolete by now, but they can serve one purpose, which is to wake you up in the morning.
A real alarm clock.
And the fourth thing was if you do want to get involved, is get hyper educated on the issue that you care about the most.
Yes.
Before you move on to other issues, and just take it one issue at a time to get hyper educated.
And let me just put my final thought on this. Guys, at the end of the day, the people who are making a difference are the people who have biased action over knowledge. If you're out there, regardless of what you care about or what your issues are, if you're out there and you are consuming 10 hours of political dialogue, but you're not even spending 1 hour taking action on that, calling a senator, volunteering your time, running for an office, then that 10 hours is not benefiting the rest of us. It isn't. You might think it is, but it is not, right? So you know how they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Well, an ounce of doing is worth a pound of knowing.
Yep.
Right? And that doesn't just go for politics. That goes for other things. If you spent the same amount of time creating a social media presence and taking photos and putting them on Instagram, you would have 100,000 followers versus just clicking through other people's Instagram feeds, right? So when an ounce of doing something in life is worth a pound of consuming and knowing, right? So action is where the real action is, right? When we're taking action in life, it's when we're creating value that the rest of the world can benefit from. So guys, as we finish this topic up, I just want to encourage you, get out there and take an ounce of action rather than a pound of knowledge, right? Get out there and do something with what you know and what you can contribute.
Love it. Really, really, really love that.
Absolutely. Now, we said there was going to be a giveaway.
Yes. So for those of you who want to enter into the giveaway, we're going to be giving away a spot in our upcoming productivity sprint. So we're going to be giving it away.
Can I ask you a question? Is it just for the people who are watching live or people who are watching the recording?
So you can enter up to 24 hours after this video is posted. So if it's within 24 hours, you'll still make the cutoff. And the way you can enter is very simple. Just comment below with if you're going to take a media fast. So comment below, say, hey, I'm X person from X town, and yes, I'm going to
take a media fast.
Or no, I'm not going to be doing it. Either one, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's going to be how you enter the giveaway. And you're going to be entered into a random drawing so that either you or someone that you give your prize to.
You can gift it to somebody else.
So if you're an alumni of our program already, you can gift it to somebody else. And you're going to be able to get a free spot in our upcoming productivity sprint.
Can I explain to them what that is?
Yes.
Okay. So our 1 week productivity sprint is our first core experience where you join us and usually about 30 other people. And what we do is we go deep for 1 week in the technologies and tools and techniques to revolutionize your productivity. The reason we call it a sprint is because it's just 7 days. So we just grab you and we do it all live and online, and we basically take you through a series of tools and techniques through 7 days that double or triple your productivity because we get you focused.
Now, it's not 24 hours, 7 days a week. What it is 2 Sunday sessions where you have to be live, but the rest of it, you're doing it in your own space, on your own time. And it's live, but it's online, so you can be wherever you are in the world participating. And then during the week, you're still, going to work and that sort of thing, but you're implementing the productivity tools that we're teaching.
So think about it like this. If it's a class, then your homework is getting more work done in your life. Right? If it's a class, then the homework is you getting your work done. And my goal for you in this productivity sprint is for you in 1 week to get more work done than you can get done in a month, because you're so focused, you're so clear, and you've got new tools that you've never had before to get productive. So that's our 1 week productivity sprint. We are going to be giving 1 seat away for free right now, and in 24 hours. So this recording is going to end, and if you comment below right now and say, I'm going to take a media fast, then you are automatically entered to win 1 seat in that productivity sprint. If you've already taken the productivity sprint or you've already taken one of our classes, then you can give it away to a husband or a friend or a family member or a coworker who really needs to get more productive.
Absolutely. Cannot say better things about it, really. You just got to experience it.
It's incredible. I mean, come on, guys. Can you really lose by trying to take 1 week to get more productive? I mean, you really can't lose by taking 1 week to really focus on getting your attention back and getting focused and doing in 1 week what you usually do in 1 month.
To those of you, if that sounds unbelievable, it's not. Those are actually very typical results for the people who take that 1 week sprint.
Absolutely. So,
So
Carey, what are your final thoughts here?
My final thoughts are, I had a lot of fun doing this.
I love these Facebook Lives.
I would love to hear your additional thoughts below. So if you have comments, if you want to comment below with something we didn't cover or something that still you're wondering about, we will be responding to all comments. So please go ahead and let us know what those are. We will be...
I was just going to say Kim and Christina and Phil and some of the people who participated, you guys might think that since we're doing this Facebook Live that we just want to talk and we don't want to listen. Frankly, the stuff that you comment below is usually some of the most important and interesting stuff. So don't consider this like the end of the sentence. We're starting this conversation. We want to hear from you about how you're dealing with this media environment, your thoughts on taking a media fast. If you have any cool tools or techniques that we didn't mention here, put them below, and we're going to get involved in dialogue with you. We'll be on that comment thread too. So let's make this comment thread below one of the internet's most interesting places to get resources and thoughts and ideas about how to deal with this current media environment.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
All right. I'm going to end it one way. I'm going to end it by grabbing here and showing you a little shot of Bali, because I know a lot of you guys are stuck in the U.S. in the winter, and so we get to bring you here to beautiful, exotic Bali and give you a little slice of paradise. Awesome. Great. Guys, if you want to learn more about us, if you want to sign up for our email newsletter, you can go to lifehackbootcamp.com. That's lifehackbootcamp.com. We're signing off. My name is Demir Jokai.
I'm Carey. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
Bye, everyone.